Guys, whoa, welcome to my New York City bedroom. Very excited to kind of show you guys around the inside of apartment 6A and my room. Whoa. Okay guys, so a little bit different. Okay guys, we're keeping that in because we're human, but a little bit of a different video this week. Fun fact about me is on my recommended page on YouTube. They're just always pushing me like kind of home updates, people building furniture, just kind of anything to do with like interior design and architecture. That's like a fun little like hobby and passion of mine. So I just kind of felt like, you know, vibing out and showing you guys what my room looks like here in New York. And also for myself, I think just a cool little like memento to document and be like, oh, wow, I love my little room here. Also, before we like really get into it, I feel like I should kind of address like quality and the microphone. I don't know if we should get used to this because we're using Gabby's Digi and microphone today, but she was like, do you want to use it? And I was like, absolutely. This is kind of like a little special edition of kind of my videos. It's so funny because you said don't get too close, and here I am so close to it. Also, for the microphone, it's currently clipped to one of my favorite products ever. If you know, you know, and if you work here, you know how to contact me. Boom. It's so loud. It's
she said time to go to sleep, maybe even forever. You just have to address it.
Okay guys, I'm really sorry if throughout this video you hear a dog barking. Of course, as soon as we started recording, this is just what real life looks like here at apartment 6A. There's just a random dog that like lives in the alley and you hear it all day, every day. We're just gonna have to roll with it. We're keeping it real and authentic, but I also realize that it's really fucking annoying because it's annoying me too. So Gabby and I kind of schemed before the video. We're kind of going to do a little circle and go around, but I felt like this would be a good part to start. So here I have these two shelves that I got from Etsy. Yeah, I got these raw and I had to sand them myself when I got them. So that was pretty cool. Then on this first one here, we have, this is really special to me. It was last year, my first fall in New York. And this is from a day that Gabby, Jen, and I went to Central Park. It was like when all the leaves were really like in their prime of fall. And I took one home and framed it and I really love it. So it just, you know, is something I'll remember forever. Then here, another really fun memory. This is like a little tray that I got from Luna. That means moon. It was like this art exhibit that I convinced Gabby to go to because I got free tickets. It was just like a really cool like art experience. And fun fact, Keith Haring is one of my favorite artists of all time. And he had a big part of that whole like exhibition. So I got this at the gift shop when we went. And I don't know, something I think that's really cool. Then here we have this film camera that my mom gave me. Unfortunately, it doesn't work, which is a bummer, but I think it just kind of like looks cool and is my vibe. So it's just kind of there hanging out as a nice piece of decor. Then as we get to the second shelf, I have this tray that I got from this random, I was in Brooklyn like a year ago and these people were just selling pottery on the street. And I bought this tray from Potter artist over there, and it just kind of holds my fragrances and my watch. This is empty. This was my go-to for a really long time. Luca by Suleng Yor. That was Troye Sivan's brand. I have this one that I made, and then these three are from Cyclair. My favorite is Lover's Leather. As you can see, this one I really like. Then behind here, I just have like little mementos from just like trips and outings. I have this that I got in Barcelona. This is a bagel order, or all of our bagel orders when Jen, Gabby, and I had Kale, you know Kale, and Joshua, shout out Joshua, come and visit. I have when Gabby and I got our Aura Red, some like photo booth film pictures, this postcard I got at the Noguchi Museum, and guys, RIP the Metro card, but I did get an Omni card and I can't lie, I feel like a New Yorker. But this was my first Metro card when I moved to New York. Isn't that kind of cool? So I just kind of keep adding and collecting or adding to this like collection and stuff. So yep, angle change. So if you guys remember from like a couple vlogs ago when Gabby and I were at IKEA and we're waiting for our Uber and Gabby was like, what is that? And we went there because I wanted to get this. It's this little like cabinet just so I could, you know, store some stuff and keep it nice. On top, I have this little lamp that I got from IKEA, this silver tray that I stole from my mom. I made this little like plaster hand in college and it just has like my just, you know, everyday jewelry. Then I have this Cowboy Carter ashtray that has my keys. And then as you guys saw in my last video when I went to IKEA for the Gustav Weissman I should know. Sorry. The collab. This is the candlestick holder that I got. This I got at a thing in South Florida. They used to do this like art fair, and it was really cool because like all these artists would like open their studios and like sell their art, and it was just like really fun. And of course, all those studios got bought out by a company that builds apartments. So they tore down all those studios, and now they're building apartments. But such is life. I have some Polaroids in this little frame. Then on the inside, this is what she's looking like. I just kind of have my cameras, my sunglasses, my bags, tote bags. Yeah, I just kind of, keep all my stuff organized in there. That's what it's looking like. Sorry, pause for noise. And then I have my house shoes from Muji down here. Fun fact about me, I was never a house shoes person until Gabby and Jen shamed me into getting house shoes. Just kidding. But yeah, so they converted me into a house shoes wearer. And then on top of my door, I have this art piece that I got when Gabby, Jen, and we went to, it was the Union Square, right? Or was it the Bryant Park? We went to the Union Square holiday market, and this guy was selling his art. I just really liked it. It's like of New York, and it's reminded me of like a Keith Haring inspired little moment. So of course I had to get it. It just sits up there in my room. So follow me this way. Boom. So this is my closet. Fun fact, Gabby and I just both switched out our closet lights, and I didn't have one for almost a year and a half. And so I finally decided to change it today. And of course the whole light fell out of the closet. So outside on this little wall here, I have this little, it kind of looks like a shrine to me sometimes. I don't know, but it's just a little collection of stuff that I like. This mirror that I stole from my mom. Fun fact about this is actually from Epcot. Yeah, from the Morocco little area at Epcot, but it's from like the 70s. So vintage. Then I have this little, oh my God, Luna. Yes. This little Luna tile that I got. My brother used to live in San Diego for a while, and I got this on a trip when I visited him a couple years ago. He doesn't live there anymore, but that's also not relevant. So anyways, and then I have this little mirror that I stole from my mom. And fun fact, it's at the perfect height. When I stand in front of it, I can just barely see my face. So I kind of use this as like a little like last looks whenever I leave my room or the apartment to just make sure I don't look too crazy. This is really cool. This is a little art piece that I got from my grandma. A lot of fun facts today, guys. Your room's a very personal space, but I'm half Cuban. So this is from my Cuban grandma. That sounds kind of crazy to say, but it's true. Yeah, this was just like an art piece that she had, and then she was cleaning it out. And I said, I want that. Oh, and then here's my mantra. This has just been sitting in my room, and I wrote this like literally within the first month of me moving here. And let me read it to you. It says, "You are great. Work doesn't define you." And boy, is that true now. New job around the corner. Boy, do I hope that one's true too. And then just a cool little reminder that, I'm in New York, so that's really special. Then I was contemplating whether or not to show you my closet, but Gabby and Jen always hype me up for being really organized. So I'm not going to go too in depth here, but this is just kind of what it's giving, what it's looking like. Yeah. And then on top of my closet, I have this art print from an old friend from college. Shout out Logan. He was selling this at like a print sale that they were doing at school. And I said, how much? And I think he gave it to me, or it was like super cheap. Okay, guys, one thing I also didn't address that's probably very obvious when you saw me open the door is my ceiling is green. When I first moved in, I was like, I think I want to paint my room. And then Jen and Gabby were like, oh God. And it was actually Jen's idea. She was like, why don't you paint the ceiling? And I said, that's a really good idea, until it wasn't. I spent like a week painting it, and it was just a lot because I had to get into all the little grooves of like the crown molding and stuff. It was insane, but it looks pretty good. And sometimes when I lay in bed and stare at the ceiling, I do think, I'm gonna have to repaint that when we move out. But I try really hard not to think about it. And you can still see the remnants of me painting my ceiling a year and a half ago now. Yeah. So as you saw with Gabby's beautiful paint on my ceiling, I have this little like pendant light situation that I DIY'd. So this lantern is from Hey. It's kind of expensive for what it is, I'm not going to lie. So if you do something like this, IKEA sells a very similar lantern now. So I just really recommend doing that. Also, fun fact, I accidentally ordered 2 of these. I think the first time I ordered one, I was really high. I'm going to bleep that out. And I couldn't remember. And then one day 2 of them showed up. And I don't know if I ever got my refund for the other one, now that I'm thinking about it. But part of the lore, I have the cord is from this company called Color Cord. Also, guys, kind of expensive for what it was. There's like cheaper options I've seen on like Etsy, but I really like the little like mount it came with. It's kind of cool, like the little white thing up there. So that I would say is worth the money. I just got nervous. I don't know why. Okay, guys. So this is like, I guess kind of like not really my nightstand area, but just like another little area of my room. I have this drawing that I actually did in college. Another fun fact, I did a full year of drawing in school, and this was one of my favorite ones. So I just decided to frame it one day. I have my speaker. It's my HomePod from Apple. Yeah, it just kind of sits there and I play music when I'm just chilling or getting ready. And then it's just sitting on a pile of books. I really am a huge fan of collecting like coffee table and like art books. I think they're really fun. So just kind of, is a perfect little mount for my speaker. Then that all sits on this little table situation. It's from Herman Miller. I got it on Facebook Marketplace. This is my bed, you guys. Yeah. Oh, guys, I love my bed. I really, really do. I have no idea where the mattress is from. I have a mattress topper from Parachute. I love a soft bed where I can just like, fall into it. So it makes it really like nice and fluffy. My bedding, I have my like pillowcases and my sheets. They're from Brooklinen. I got those at a sample sale after having a really bad day at my old job one day. And I came home and I was like, so I just spent X amount of money at the sample sale. And I have a vivid memory of Gabby being like, sometimes you just need to disassociate and like shop the pain away. So that's kind of the remnants of that. I have like 2 little like pillows that sit there. This one is from my sister. This one I really love. It's from shout out Paige Wassel. She's one of my favorite YouTubers. It's from her company and one of her pillow drops. And I just have, a little nice little blanket from Target that just sits there. Honestly, the 3 main reasons it's there. 1, now that it's getting like fall and winter, if it gets too cold, I snuggle up with that. 2, I kind of use it if I want to sit on my bed when I get home after being like out and about and on the train and stuff, but I don't really want to like lay on my bed. Or 3, if I do laundry and I don't want to change or put on clean sheets that night, I'll usually just lay on that. So I don't know why I'm sharing all this, but it just feels right. You know what I mean? Behind my bed, I have these little sconces that I kind of use as my reading light. Yes, I know how to do that. They're from IKEA. And then I have these like little cord covers that I got from, I'm so sorry, guys. I did get those from Amazon. Have seen those on like Etsy. So if you're interested, I recommend going that route. This is art piece that I got on a trip to New York before I lived here like 3 years ago or something like that. And I was at this like vintage thrift store in Soho and they were selling the art. I don't know. I just thought it was cool. And it's like on I think like a biking map of New York City. So I just kind of love that. Oh my God. I didn't even talk about my bed. Whoa. So my bed frame is from Floyd. It's a Floyd bed frame. And it's a bed frame I've wanted for a really, 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 really long time. Guys, quick little story time. So when I first moved here, I was sleeping on the floor for about like 2 months. And then there was one day where Gabby and Jen were like, you need to get a bed frame. And I was like, okay. So I found on Facebook Marketplace that someone was selling the Floyd bed frame. And I was like, this is perfect. I asked Gabby, do you want to come with me? She was very kind and said yes. We got all the way there. And I was like, I realized that all the money that is in my bank account for the bed is in my savings, not my checking. It was like 5 o'clock on a Friday. And I was like, fuck, I can't transfer it. So we literally had to leave and go back on Monday to pick it up again. But we did, and we got her in here. I just love it so much. And like I said, I just really love my bed. This is my rug. It is also from IKEA. I got it one of my last apartments when I was living in Orlando when I was going to school there. If you know with IKEA, they don't really sell what's on like the floor. So if it's like, oh, I really want that lamp, but they only have the floor model left, like they usually won't sell you that. This rug was the floor model and they sold it to me. I don't know if they were allowed to do that, but it happened. So come this way, you guys. This is where it's going to get a really tight squeeze. So this is my other side of my bed. Ooh, it's a little dusty. I'm sorry about that. Guys, I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it human, okay? We're not featured on Architectural Digest just yet. This lamp is probably one of my favorite things I have in my room. It's a candle warmer, and I got it from Amazon, guys. I'm really sorry, okay? For what it's worth, I don't have an Amazon... Ooh, I just ate it. I don't have an Amazon subscription anymore. You know, I'm only human. You know what I mean? This is my favorite candle. It's from Anthropology. It just smells very like citrusy and like tropical. Those are like my favorite types of smells. And it works really well because not every time, but a lot of the times when like Jen or Gabby walk into my room, they're like, it smells really good in here. So really recommend that. That all sits on this little, I think it's from Knoll, something like that maybe. I'm blanking on the name right now, but this is like another thing that I wanted for a really long time that I got when I moved here to New York. And I was like, I'm finally going to do it. And it just kind of houses like a bunch of junk, to be honest. Eek. Again, guys, we're keeping it real. I just have a bunch of chargers in there and stuff like that. And then down here, not even going to bother to show you that. There's another art piece back here. This is from one of my old professors. Shout out Ashley Taylor. She was one of my old professors in college. She introduced me to like screen printing, and this was one of like her test prints. And I was like, whoa, this is really cool. Can I take it? And she said, yes. It just sits there and just hangs out. Oh, guys, this is actually really sweet. So the first time I came to New York was in 2015. I went on like a family trip. I think I got that at the gift shop at the MoMA. And so yeah, I had that as like a teenager hanging in my room. And little did I know I would be living in New York one day. I honestly just like looking at it and being like, wow, that's really cool. So yeah, you can cut. So fun fact, when I first moved here, I really don't have space for a desk in my room. So I actually used to use this as my desk. So I would literally sit crisscross applesauce and like work from here sometimes. Honestly, not really. I would work from the living room. But if I had meetings, I would literally take it right here. I'll show you what my new desk setup is now. I got this bench from Facebook Marketplace. It's just kind of like a cool little place where I have like all of these books. This is my journal. This is like an ashtray that I thrifted. This is another ashtray from my great aunt. Whoa, I just kind of short circuited, but yeah, so that's kind of cool. And on this side, we have more cool little like art books. This magazine I actually designed myself. Shout out. Then this is another Gustav Westman, I'm so sorry, piece. I got it when he did a pop-up here in Brooklyn. So that's like really cool. In it, I have these little corks. So fun fact about these, if you have watched, and you should watch, Gabby's recap of our Euro summer, these are the corks from Rome, I think. Me smelling them as if that's going to tell me anything, but I'm pretty sure those are from the corks that we had from the free like Prosecco and stuff that they gave us. On my windowsill here, I have some more art books. This is a vase that I got from like a ceramist in the Keys. Here I have my speaker. This is what I use to hook up to my record player. Then this sits on a solar tray that I got from a thrift store back home. Over here, I have this clock that I got from MoMA, and it was on sale. So that was really cool. And then here we have these bottles that used to contain liquid. Guys, this is rough. Yeah, I just kind of use these two bottles to hold like candles. I'm not a huge soda drinker, but when I do drink soda, which is kind of rare, I love Coke. I love a Coca-Cola. Specifically, a Mexican Coke is so good. So I got this from one of my favorite restaurants back in Orlando. And then this is from LOL, my old job. They used to do like Champagne Fridays. I remember when they did the first one I went to, I was like, damn, you guys are drinking Vouv? So I stole one of the bottles and used it as a candlestick holder. Now I'm kind of reconsidering that. Maybe that's like bad energy or something, but oh, shout out Gabby. This is her old printer. So I use this mainly to like scan things in. I still go to Gabby every now and then being like, hey, can I borrow your printer? What else? Oh, this is fun. This is from one of the best meals we had in our This is from one of our best meals we had in our Euro summer. It was from Barcelona. They served the check in this little like old tin container. And I said, I'm taking that. Did I miss anything else? Oh, guys, I have my, yes, I do, Renaissance popcorn bucket. Yeah. And on the inside, it holds all this stuff that I eventually want to use to make like a junk journal photo album from our trip in Europe. So we'll move to this side. Yes, yes, yes. Down here, we have some of my records. These are all the records that I've collected since being in New York. But I have like a ton back home at my parents' house. These are all posters I need to hang up eventually. So just, hold me accountable, guys. In a couple months, if you still see those down there, let me know. Then this dresser I got from Facebook Marketplace. One of my favorite finds because I needed something so specific for this little area. And it's supposedly like a vintage, like Danish dresser, and it looks really cool. I just love it so much. On top of it, we have my record player. I have an Audio Technica. Yeah, up here we have 2 records. Usually I kind of like switch these out for like the newest records I get. But up here we have Cowboy Carter, obviously. And then down here we have, this is actually like a live album from Olivia Dean. So that's pretty cool. Oh, I guess I'll also, show you like my drawer, because Gabby always hypes me up, but it's like so organized. So it's color coded. So it's like colors, whites, blacks, and then like black and white kind of overflow. What else? Oh, and then we'll get to my wall of posters. I love getting like little posters and like prints, and some of these I've made myself. Oh my God, frames are so expensive. And I was just kind of like sick and tired of my stuff sitting like in my bed or in like random rolls. So I got these little like art clips. Guys, I'm sorry, they're from Amazon too. Just kind of made like a little DIY gallery wall in my room. So this one is from the Gustav Weissman, pop-up and like exhibition he did in New York. This one is from this really cool, like traditional vintage print shop in Seaport. It was a really fun day that Jen, Gabby, and we went to. I got this because, fun fact, it took me over a year to learn the 5 boroughs of New York City. So I have it hung up in my room so I could look at it and study it every single night. And then over here, this is from Extra Vitamins. They're like a really cool like clothing brand. They had like a open sale or like open, what's the word I'm looking for? Garage sale. Yeah, I guess garage sale of their old studio space in Brooklyn. And we went one day. I got this from them, which is really cool. This is a postcard from the Whitney. I just really like the piece of art that was on the postcard. Then this one, it's from my old boss, LOL. I got this really cool piece from artists in Orlando. And then this one I actually made. So my senior year of college, one of my biggest projects was I designed my own font. And then I went ahead and like printed that font myself. Yeah, this was one of the prints from the numbers from the font that I designed. And I just think it looks really cool. Then this was actually a test print and a screen print that I did in college as well. And then these are 2 little postcards from the Guggenheim when I first moved here. So yeah, that's kind of my little gallery wall setup. Kind of like a funny place to end, I feel like, but I don't know. I think this is another like cool part of my room. And that's why I kind of like having a small room, because you kind of have to like be creative and like problem solve. I feel like this was one thing that I just had to figure out and do. So it's like a Murphy desk that I got from Etsy. Yeah, it looks kind of crazy right now. I kind of just shoved all the loose pieces of paper and stuff in my room to hide it so it could look nice for the room tour. But I want to be real and authentic with you. So this is what it looks like right now. I have like a chair that I'll pull out from our living room and I'll just like sit here. And this is where I used to work at my, 9 to 5. And now it's where I like edit or do kind of like my own little creative projects or apply to jobs. Kind of like a cool little setup. But yeah, guys, this was my room tour of my New York City apartment. I love watching like videos like this, home updates like this. And like I said earlier in the video, this is something that I would just do for fun myself when I'm alone hanging out in my room sometimes. So it just feels really cool to like document that and share that with you all. So I hope you enjoyed this kind of like different little format and vibe for the video this week. Hope you're enjoying Jen and Gabby's videos too. And I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye. Wow. Are you recording?
Yeah.
Oh, I have a ruler that I can clip it to.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let me do that. Guys, this is BTS of the video. Everyone show mad love to Gabby in the comments because we're using her Digi. Yeah.
We should go to the opera, guys.
Yes, we are. You're in our hallway right now.
Amazing, crazy. Yeah.
Is it, a good,
Yes.
okay, cool. Are you like behind the camera being like, cringe or,
No.
okay, cool. Is it recording?
Yes.
More BTS.